I just want to take a few minutes to go through a couple of the most common breath practices that we use in yoga. The two practices being Ujjayi or ocean sounding breath, or maybe you've heard it called victorious breath, depending on where you come across it, and the three-part yogic breath. These two breaths have so many benefits for our practice and for our health, but we're not always that great at explaining how to do them or why we do them in class. So I just wanted to go over it a little bit so that you can ingrain it into your practice at home, and that will serve you really, really well when you come to class, because you can just get into your own zone, tune out what the teacher's saying, not worrying about what anyone else is doing, just know that what you're doing feels right for you. So before we start, I want you to find a comfortable seat. So whatever that may look like for you, I'm sitting up on my bolster. Maybe you want to sit in a chair, maybe you want to sit on the floor, on your mat, maybe you want to lie down on your bed. For these two breaths, it doesn't matter where you are as long as you're comfortable. And comfortable from seat being the very first step in yoga. If you're not comfortable, then you're not going to be able to clear your mind, you're not going to be able to zone out. So while you're doing that, just thinking about breath work. So in yoga we call breath work pranayama. So prana being life force, the energy, the breath, so something that we share with the universe, that everlasting connection with the universe as we give and we receive. That lovely kind of thought, that feeling of just this eternal energy between us. And yama meaning extension or control. So thinking about like controlling or extending the breath, so lengthening the breath. Or if you thinking about it differently, I like extending that life force, extending that lifespan. There's so much science behind breathing, and I love it because of that science. And just it's something that's it's a tiny thing, and nearly everyone can do it, but it can have such profound impacts on your health. It really helps in managing your nervous system, really building some vagal tone, that heart rate variability, so you can go from action and you can go back to rest, and it's an easy to and from different states, like a cat-like experience, but you're not getting stuck in one where you're all the time feeling like you're action. You've got tools that you can calm yourself down, or you've got tools that you can energize yourself on. Just knowing that you have these tools in your pack, that you can control those nervous system responses, is so powerful. So get into it. Now you've found your comfortable seat, just taking time to soften your gaze, close your eyes. Just have a moment tuning in to everything around you. What can you hear? There may be some obvious noises, me being one of them. There may be more subtle noises that you could tune into. Are there any smells around you? What do they remind you of? What do they bring to mind? Bringing your attention to your own thoughts, really acknowledging anything that's floating through your brain currently. Try and make it tangible. Recognize if it's important, if it needs to be stored away for later, or if it's not important, can it be brushed aside? And then in the physical body, just working from the top down, thinking, how does your forehead feel? How do your ears feel? Can you even feel your ears? How does your jaw feel? Your tongue? Does your jaw need a bit of a wiggle? How does your neck feel? just trying to tuck your chin slightly so that your chin is in line with the ground if you're sitting up, bringing a bit of length to your neck. How do your shoulders feel? Do they need a bit of movement? Maybe a little roll. How do your elbows feel? Your wrists, your fingers? How do your hips feel? Can you feel your sit bones connected to the mat or to the ground or your seat? Does one side feel heavier than the other, or are they more or less the same? How do your thighs feel, your knees, your feet? Are they connected with the earth? And then just come into your breath, not changing anything, just bringing your attention here. How is your breath feeling today? Are you able to breathe easily in and out through your nose? Maybe you can inhale through your nose but need to exhale through your mouth. Maybe one nostril feels stronger than the other, clearer than the other. Just working with wherever you are today. Noticing which parts of you are moving as you breathe. And then on your next inhale, starting to deepen and lengthen that breath. Aiming to feel a little expansion at the belly, expansion through the ribs. And then as you exhale, equal length, just letting everything relax, really passive on that exhale, just letting go and feeling heavy. Inhaling, expanding, belly, then ribs, maybe a little lift of the collarbone. Exhaling for equal length. With every inhale, really feeling this expansion. Noticing where you're feeling that expansion. Can you feel it at the front, or can you feel it at the sides, or maybe at the back? Is there any little adjustments you can do to your posture so you feel that expansion all the way around your body? So you're really using the breath to stretch out. Remember, this is a really important tool. If you're not using the breath, stretching out through the ribs, everything just starts to feel a bit stiff, a bit tight. So really engaging your diaphragm, breathing deep into your belly, into your lungs, using the breath to work out through the body. This breath, the belly, the ribs, a little lift of the collarbones at the top of the breath, but keeping your shoulders relaxed. This is your 3-part yogic breath. So just pausing, just returning to your normal breath. Notice already, just with that simple breath, how do you feel? Do you feel different? Do you feel the same? And now I want to do the Ujjayi breath. So the Ujjayi breath is like an ocean sound. It's like a little sigh in the back of your throat. So if you hold up your hand in front of you, we're going to sigh out through our mouth like we're trying to fog up a mirror. So pretending your hand is a mirror, just feel that little sensation, little restriction in your throat. Just a gentle fogging up of the mirror. Now if you inhale through your nose, but keep your mouth closed, can you still make that sound at the back of your throat as you exhale? So, like that little sigh. And the same thing, so we're going to keep that same feeling, that same little restriction in your throat as you inhale. And exhale, so it's not as prominent, it's not as obvious on the inhale, but you still feel it, you still hear it. This shouldn't be a really, really loud thing. People 3 rows across aren't going to hear you doing this, but it's just an audible sign, audible to yourself, maybe audible to the person beside you. Just a little sigh as you inhale and exhale, trying to keep your face soft, trying to keep your shoulders soft. So really just that belly and your ribs are the only things that are moving here. Now this breath brings a little bit of an extra element to any other breath that you do. So like your 3-part yogic breath, you could do a 3-part yogic breath with that Ujjayi restriction in your throat. And what Ujjayi does, it just helps to control and direct the flow of the breath. So you're controlling the air that's drawing in and out of your body, that prana as it draws in and out. And also with that little vibration in your throat, that little vibration, you might feel it through your jaw, through here. There's this long wandering nerve called the vagus nerve, and the prime role of the vagus nerve is that it's primarily involved in our parasympathetic nervous system, so that kind of calming response. So it helps to kind of lower your heart rate, lower your blood pressure, helps to vasodilate, to bronchodilate, so everything might feel a bit clearer. So it just helps to bring you into that calmer space. It's a really, really good tool to use if you just have a couple of minutes during the day just to sit and go through that Ujjayi breath. Other really, really good purpose that it has, particularly thinking about yoga and that whole intent of yoga to join, to yoke body and mind, is it helps to bring attention to your body, that additional audio cue, just bringing you in to your body, helping to tune out everything else that's going on around you. So those are really the 2 main breaths that you'll come across in yoga. And what I want to do now is trying to use them together, so you can use both of them in different ways, but for this practice I really want to use them to bring in a bit of a balance in breath. So when we say balance in breath, we mean like balance into the nervous system. So you have these 2 ends of the nervous system, the kind of fight or flight end and the rest or digest, and during the day you need them both. You need to get stuff done, you need to get out there, get moving, but you also need to calm so that other body processes can work, so you can digest, so that you can repair. So they're both really, really important, but you need to move through them during the day. And that's where the breath can be really useful, because when you know how to use the breath to control your nervous system, you know how to bring yourself down, or you know how to energize to bring yourself up, it's really empowering. And it means that you don't get stuck in one end or the other. More frequently, people are stuck in that fight or flight. They find it really hard to switch off or relax. But you know, it does happen the other end as well. People struggle to energize, to find any energy to kind of get up and do things. You need to be cat-like. You need to be able to move and react quickly, to kind of jump out the way if something's coming, but then be able to just calm, relax, go back to your original state. So this breath, although we can use breath for energizing, we can use breath for kind of calming, relaxing, and arguably that's the thing that people most think of when they think of breath practices, that calming thing. Today we're going to think about a balancing, so that if you're kind of low energy, it'll bring you up. If you're kind of high energy, struggling to come down, it'll bring you down. So we're just at that midway point, ready to kind of react or go either way at any given time. And how we're going to do this, so we're going to do the 3-part yogic breath, but we're going to include that little sigh, that Ujjayi sound within that 3-part yogic breath. And we're going to bring the breath so that we are aiming for a count of maybe 4 to 6 breaths per minute. And that's where the science shows that it becomes balancing. And it becomes balancing by controlling your levels of CO2 in your system. We'll get into that another day. So just taking that time to find your comfortable seat. Maybe you soften your gaze, maybe you close your eyes. And just starting again with that 3-part yogic breath. You using your diaphragm to inhale, a little expansion of the belly and the ribs, 360-degree expansion, letting the shoulders be soft, letting the face be soft, and exhaling for equal length. And as you get comfortable with that one, maybe you start bringing in that ujjayi, that ocean sound. And I'm going to start with a count. If this count doesn't feel comfortable for you, feel free to do your own count. Remembering we're all on our own journey. It might not feel right for you right now, but maybe it's something that you're working towards. Just starting wherever you're at. On your next inhale, we're going to inhale for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Controlling that rate. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. 5 more. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. Returning to your normal breath. Trying to keep your eyes soft or closed, just tuning into how you feel now. What can you feel happening in your body? Maybe you feel some tingling, maybe you feel some warmth, maybe a pulse somewhere, maybe something else. Just noticing all the activity that happens in your body, even when you're very, very still. And just slowly flutter and open your eyes. Coming back into the room. So there's 2 breath practices and 1 extra little practice, but bringing both those things together. And I really urge you to try building that practice into your everyday life, even if you only do it for kind of 2 minutes 3 times a day. So thinking about when you first get up, maybe you do that balancing breath practice. What a great way to start the day, just feeling balanced and ready for anything. Maybe you try and do it midway through the day. Maybe you have a time in the evening when you're just starting to wind down where you can include it as well. So think about what your goals for your breath practice are. Think about when you're going to use it. Try and establish it as a routine and wait and see what kind of effects it has.